let's see where to start. So we met up at BYU Idaho. I had been dating some guys, and I tried out for a film festival audition, and this guy was also from Oregon, and it was really cool. I tried out for the video, and I got one of the parts, one of the roommates, and we went to do some filming, and the Michael came in carrying some lighting, and I said, "Hi, lighting guy." He was really trim, really cute. His baldness was absolutely adorable. I actually really prefer guys with long hair, but I don't really like a lot of body hair. So that was fun. But I flirted hard that night. I'd been sick, and so I was just feeling crummy, and I was flirting with him, and it was so much fun. I felt really connected with him for some weird reason. And a couple days later, we had to film some more at a park, and I climbed up the slide because I was bored. We weren't shooting any more scenes of us except later, and I was just bored out of my mind. So I climbed up the slide, and he was in a pretend police officer uniform, which was very handsome. Unbeknownst to him, he was flirting, but he was just being himself, wondering and trying to have conversation when his part wasn't up. And so I flirted back. Then when we were passing to go to the next scene for filming, I was carrying some of the lighting, and he was not. Actually, no, it was the other way. He was carrying lighting and I wasn't. And I kind of pounced on his back and dodged around. He handed off the lighting very swiftly to his friend, and we started kind of vocally sparring and like on toes, ready to pounce. And he pounced and I dodged. He grabbed my wrist, spun me around, and we started dancing in the middle of the park. And his friend, who had taken the lighting from him, said, "I think she's seeing someone." It's like, "Are you?" It's like, "I am." But I was getting very annoyed with the guy I was seeing. And so I was like, "Yeah, well, I think I don't know how I'm feeling about him at the moment." And Michael then spun me around and said, "And if that poor dumb sucker decides to lose you," and he dips me, I said, "I'll let you know." And that is part 1 of day 3 of us meeting. So there's more. Pardon the background, but the rest of that day, we went back to the apartment where we met and filmed the last scene of the movie. And all the girls were like huddled around me. He's like, "You're flirting really hard with Kingsley." It's like, "Yes, I know I'm flirting really hard with Kingsley. He's kind of flirting back, but I can't really tell. But he's really kind and really sweet." It's like, "But you're dating somebody else." It's like, "I don't really like him very much. I'm thinking about dumping him." "Okay, go for Kingsley. Flirt harder." And so we finished up the scene, and I had taken my fedora to the shoot, and we had put it on the giant bear that was there in the front room. Well, I left, and I left my hat. 2-3 minutes away from the house, I realized I don't have my fedora. I also don't have my jacket. My jacket was gone, by the way. It was in somebody else's car. And so I went back. I was not about to lose my fedora. Not about to lose my fedora. Went back. He was wearing it. And I said, "That's my hat." He said, "Oh, is it?" I was like, "Yes, that is my hat. May I have it back, please?" It's like, "One condition. I'll give it back to you no matter what, but I'd like to ask you something." And he asked me out on a date the next day. Well, not the next day. I think it was the next day. And we exchanged phone numbers, and we just kind of texted back and forth a little bit that night. And then the next day, we went on our first date, had frozen yogurt, and sparred with duct tape weapons. So, like PVC pipe, duct tape, swords, quarterstaves, LARPing, basically. And we sparred with each other at the park, and then we sat in the grass and talked about his family, talked about my family, talked about our church missions that we both went on. And we just talked about everything, how we wanted to raise children, where we wanted to live, what our favorite colors were, what our favorite movies were. Really deep kind of stuff, and not first date kind of talking. This is like 10th date, getting to know you deep, not just flirting. This was, I want to know you. And it was really nice. And by at least, oh my gosh, I think it was our 10th or 12th date, I knew that I wanted to marry him. And we met in June. And he proposed end of August, beginning of September. And we went to school, and we chose the wedding date while they're at school. It was going to be January. Nobody would be happy. So Michael said, "I'll give you till tomorrow to January 5th to choose your date." And I chose October 30th. And the family who really wanted to be there made it. And it was wonderful. But I will do the proposal in a different one because it deserves its own. When we left mid-July from BYU, Idaho, it hurt so bad to have to be states away from him. He was going to be in Utah. I was going to be in Oregon. He was doing his internship, and I was just going to be at my parents' house. And we talked every single day, either on the phone or through Skype. And we just talked, and we texted, and we messaged, and just got to know each other more and had lots of fun. And then a little while later, well, Mom and I went wedding dress shopping. Found one, $100 at this little old grandma's shop. And it was perfect. A couple weeks later, we went on a train ride with my grandparents. And we went from Oregon, down California, across the states to Iowa, stayed with my sister for a few days. From Iowa, we went to Chicago. I got super sick in Chicago, like throwing up. It was so bad. I had a high fever, and Michael actually helped me find someone to help me feel better. My mom was there with me, but my mom and Michael worked on finding someone to, in my religion, we do blessings to help people get better. And so someone came and gave me a blessing. I got better very quickly, had some good sleep. We left from the train, like 4 days on the train back to Oregon. And then the end of August came and Mom was like really worried about me making sure my room was tidy and cleaned up and ready to go. And it's like, Mom, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll clean everything. And so I cleaned everything, finished my room. The morning I finished my room, Michael called and said, hey, I'm not going to be able to Skype tonight. It's like, I really want to Skype with you tonight. I want to see you. I want to talk to you as we can because I'm going to go out with my friends tonight and I'm not going to be able to talk to you. I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll make it up to you. And ding, ding. Then that evening, I put on a really nice dress. I got all gussied up, all maked up and everything. It's like dressed to the nines. We're going on the town. It's like, okay, let's do this. And so I get in their car and they drive me up to this elementary school that's not very far away from the house. And up on the hill, in between two cherry trees, is sitting Michael in a handmade brown and very pretty accent fabric, formal samurai clothing. He made it himself, and with a katana in his lap, with a little pouch tied to the hilt. I get out of their car. It's a 2-door, and so I'm in the back. I have to like get out of the car, not rip my dress, not rip my skin on the car ledge that always bit me. And I said, screw the shoes, kicked my high heels off into the air, and ran up the hill to him, praying I wasn't going to trip on the way up. I jumped on him, and it was just, to be in his arms again was just perfect. Absolute bliss. I felt whole again. And just snuggled up to him. My head fit right there, right between his shoulders and his neck, just perfect. And a little spiel about how he cared about me and how he felt that this was the right next step for us, and got down on one knee, had the katana out in both hands, spread, and he said, a samurai always presents his katana, would always present his katana to his lord, his daimyo, as his soul. Will you take my soul? And it is yours forever. And I said yes. And then he brought out the ring. And I said, and you have to put that on me. Held out my hand. And he put the ring on my finger. It was quite loose. We had gone ring peering before we left. I didn't realize we had to size it smaller because of the tags holding the rings. But he got it pretty dang close. And so that's the